Being a grandparent to a transgender or non-binary grandchild can be a journey that brings new questions, new words, and new ways of seeing someone you've known and loved their whole life. It's okay if some of this feels unfamiliar. What matters most isn't how much you know right now. What matters most is your love. And if you're here, listening, reflecting, and trying to understand, then you're already doing one of the most important things you could possibly do for your grandchild. Your grandchild hasn't become someone else. They're not a stranger. They're not broken. They're not confused. They're still the same child you've held, laughed with, watched grow, and worried about. What's changed is not who they are, but what they're able to share with you. When a person says they are transgender or non-binary, they're telling you a truth about themselves that they may have carried silently for a long time. Sometimes for years. Sometimes since childhood. Sometimes it comes to the surface in adolescence. But even when these feelings seem to appear suddenly, they are rarely new. What's new is the freedom or the pain that pushed that truth into words. Maybe your grandchild has asked you to use a new name. Maybe they've asked you to say they instead of he or she. Maybe they've changed the way they dress or the way they express themselves. And maybe this is confusing to you. That's okay. It's okay to feel unsure. It's okay to make mistakes. What matters is what you do next. The way you respond when they correct you. The way you practice saying their name the way they want to hear it. The way you listen, not to defend your habits or your confusion, but to understand what makes them feel safe and seen. Every time you call them by their chosen name or use the pronouns they asked for, you're doing something powerful. You're telling them that their identity matters, that their truth matters, that they don't have to hide or pretend or shrink themselves to be loved by you. And that is one of the greatest gifts a grandparent can offer. You might wonder how this happened. You might think back to years when they seemed happy, when they didn't mention anything about gender, when they played or talked or dressed in ways that seemed typical to you. That doesn't mean they weren't already carrying something deeper inside. It doesn't mean this identity is a phase or a mistake. Some people discover who they are gradually, especially when they didn't have the words or the safety or the support to even ask themselves the right questions. Puberty, changing relationships, and new awareness can all bring things to the surface that were there all along, waiting to be understood. If your grandchild has been struggling with anxiety or depression, or if they've been hospitalized or withdrawn, that's not because of who they are. It's because of what they've been carrying. It's because of fear, of isolation, of not knowing if they'll still be loved after they speak. But when they are supported by family, when they are loved without conditions, when they are affirmed and protected, something changes. The weight becomes lighter. The silence becomes trust. And life becomes something they can imagine again. Your role in their life is more important now than ever. You might not realize it, but grandparents can be anchors. You hold memory. You hold presence. You hold family together. If you stand beside your grandchild, even as you're learning, you give them a sense of belonging that no one else can replace. You give them a sense that their history and their future are both welcome in your heart. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to know every term or get everything right the first time. What matters is that you try, that you listen, that you keep showing up, that you ask when you don't understand, and that you stay open when the answers surprise you. What matters is that you don't make their identity about you. This is their journey, not your crisis. Your feelings are valid, but they are yours to work through without putting that weight on their shoulders. If you notice that other people in the family are dismissive or hurtful or resistant, don't stay silent. Silence often feels like betrayal. Speak with the authority of love. Tell people that your grandchild is not a debate, that their identity is not up for discussion, that love means acceptance, not conditions. Be the one who teaches others by example, not through confrontation, but through clarity and consistency. Your actions will speak louder than arguments. Some people say that young people are too young to know who they are. But no one is ever too young to feel discomfort. No one is ever too young to feel like something doesn't fit. And no one is ever too young to need support. Even if your grandchild's understanding of themselves changes over time, that doesn't make their current truth less real. It just means they are alive, growing, evolving like every human being. And they deserve the freedom to do that without shame or fear. If you're unsure what to say, just tell them you love them. Tell them you're proud of them. Tell them you're glad they're here. Show up with warmth. Show up with patience. Show up with the kind of love that says, you don't have to earn this. You don't have to explain this. I'm here. I'm listening. I'm learning. I'm not going anywhere. Your grandchild doesn't need you to be an expert. They don't need you to change who you are. They just need to know that the love they've always had from you is still there. Strong, steady, unshaken. And if they know that, they'll remember it for the rest of their life.